Und das war der Moment, in dem ich gesagt habe, keine Kamera mehr. Tag. So. Also. Stanley Parable. Gutes Spiel. Das war's, Hadi Bonani. Ich bin ungeduscht. Und stinke. Sehr wahrscheinlich. Okay, es scheint keine Kamera überhaupt erst da zu sein. Dann wäre das auch geklärt. Da muss ich da dann doch nichts machen. Wir warten jetzt noch einmal kurz. Es ist, ein bisschen noch kurz warten, ob vielleicht ein paar reinkommen. Fuck it. Scheiß auf Leute, die reinkommen.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Okay.
Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ach, tun wir das? Okay. Oh mein Gott, okay. Es ist irgendwie sehr komisch. Habe ich irgendwie so Motion Blur an oder so? Scheint nicht. Besetzungslabel. Nein, das lassen wir mal alles aus. Wir wollen ja schön trocken hier rangehen. Okay. Oben. Wer dachte mit L1 sich ducken ist eine gute Idee? Kann ich.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait.
Jo.
Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers
Nein, ich kriege die Tür nicht mehr
eventually
auf.
someday they would arrive.
Das ist so eine komische Tür, die sich so automatisch
Very soon now,
abschließt.
this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's
Tür ist
just a
kaputt.
little bit closer.
Ja,
Now
mach
it's
mal eine
even
Tür kaputt.
closer. Here it comes.
Okay. Wir haben unser erstes Ende. Okay, verstehe, die Tür geht nicht mehr auf.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Zum Teil würde ich trotzdem die Empfindlichkeit kurz ein bisschen hochstellen. Schon viel besser. Oh. Junge, ich bin einfach Glitch, man. Okay. Einfach Hacker. Habe ich das Spiel kaputt gemacht? Was passiert? Oh, Alter.
At
Oha.
first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Ja, warten wir.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nein.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Cheers. Jetzt warten wir. Einfach, schätze ich. Passiert noch was? Problem ist, bei dem Game weiß man halt nie. Gott, ich muss diesen Moment. Hä? Uah. Schön, schön. Es passiert nichts. Irgendwie. Dachte. Nee. Ja. Okay. Es passiert, glaube ich, wirklich nichts. War ich irgendwie. Das. Oh. Okay, ich glaube, oh. Ja, wir haben uns... Wird verliehen, wenn du irgendeine der anderen Trophäen das erstmal... Ich will springen. Warum darf ich eigentlich nicht springen? Ich will springen. Bunny hoppen vielleicht. Es funktioniert einfach nicht. Okay, okay. Dann, okay, ich schätze, das war's dann.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy?
Ja.
Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble
Ey,
cause.
du kleiner
Perhaps 50
Ekelhafter.
clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Ich kann das. Ich bin schneller Klicker.
No, 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 no. I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some
Kleiner
hustle,
Knecht.
Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? Okay, komm. Wo ist 417? 417.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437, los geht's.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Junge, er läuft zu langsam.
Now, back to door number 437.
437, los geht's. Weiter geht's. Vier drei sieben, 437, 437.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really
417.
feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Ich weiß nicht, irgendwie...
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Komm. Bitte.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416, okay, 416.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Ja, die Kopierermaschine. Ja.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 4. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
Ja, ich bin einfach toll. Vier B3.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Aber gehen wir denn durch die linke Tür? Das ist die andere Frage. Gehen wir wirklich durch die linke Tür? Wir könnten natürlich durch die linke Tür gehen, genau das machen, was er sagt. Wir könnten uns aber auch wehren und ganz frech sein. Wir gehen durch die linke Tür.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ich konnte hier auf den Stuhl gerade... Ja, verdammt. Fuck. Ah! So, von hier aus auf den Tisch. Ah, perfekt. Aber da findet nichts. Okay, was ist es?
Ich Moritz.
Oh,
Och.
heil. Hallo. Okay, everyone is unique. You most of all. Charts, charts and slides, slides. Okay. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nö. Wir bleiben jetzt hier drin. Es ist ein wunderschöner. Ich meine. Ja, ja, Vögel.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Doch, ich finde die Besenkammer sehr angenehm. Ich mag lange
It was
Schläuche.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Standing there, standing here.
Are you really still in
Yeah.
the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Er dachte, ne, ich bleib hier drin. Ich bleib hier drin.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never
Mein
would
Hals
have
ist so
thought to mention
gefickt
it.
immer noch. Ich war vor 3 Tagen auf Klassenfahrt und mein Hals ist einfach immer noch tot. Ich mag
Maybe to you this is
Schraubenschlüssel.
Wie findest du Kelp?
Boah, Kelp.
Maybe when you
Ey,
go talk
Kelp
about
ist
this
schon.
with your friend, you'll say,
Das ist
"Oh,
halt so eine.
Did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite.
I hope
XD.
your friends find this concerning."
Lennart, das hast du einfach nicht gehört gerade.
Stanley was
Kelp.
fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably
Bei mir ist es die Nase Mori.
connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay, ist ja gut. Ich wollte doch nur in der Besenkammer chillen.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to...
Warum wird das auf einmal gelesen?
before it begins to decompose.
Weil ich das lesen lassen habe, weil ich ihm geschrieben habe, dass das gelesen wird.
The person at this computer
Das kann
is
ich
dead.
einstellen.
They've fallen prey to any number of your countless
Ich wollte
human
halt, dass das
physiological
vorgelesen wird, also wird das
vulnerabilities.
vorgelesen.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to
Wie man die Playsee hört, Daumen hoch, helle Hautfarbe.
first-person video game mechanics and filling
Die
them in on
Playsee
the
hört
history
man
of narrative
definitiv
tropes
nicht.
in
Das ist
video
vielleicht
gaming. So that
einfach
the
nur ein
irony
Grundrauschen.
and insightful commentary
Nicht mal
of
ich höre
this
die
game
Playsee.
is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay, ich denke mal genug.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Daumen hoch, dunkle Hautfarbe.
Worse than the person who came before you.
Weil, ja, das finde ich okay, cool, dass du das nochmal, Daumen hoch, dunkle Hautfarbe.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay. Okay, wir gehen raus. Und jetzt ist die
Coming to a
Frage,
staircase,
gehen wir nach oben oder nach
Stanley
unten?
walked upstairs to his boss's
Oben oder
office.
unten? Die Entscheidung liegt bei euch oder bei dir oder bei mir oder einfach irgendwo. Oben oder unten? Oben oder unten? Jetzt die Frage, auf welches Level ist unser Niveau? Liegt unser Niveau, keine Ahnung, Deutsch oder so? Oben oder unten?
Mitte.
Mitte. Schwierig. Das ist nicht so einfach. So. Also, Mitte. Hoch. Okay, hoch.
Dann wird's lustiger.
I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Sorry, that's a lonely horse. Kann ich abspielen? Nein, kann ich nicht. Stanley's einfach. Okay. Oh, oh. Business Strategy. Wenn jemand sagt, dass Geld nicht cool ist, ich. Warum habe ich gerade... Was? Okay. Ich gehe nach unten. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wo mich das hinführt. Wir warten einfach ein bisschen. Ich schätze, das kann jetzt noch ein bisschen dauern. Ist ein ziemlich langer Aufzug. Ist ein sehr langer Aufzug. Fängt Stanley gerade an mitzusingen? Willkommen zu Fahrstuhl Simulator 2022, Leute. Es ist wieder wundervoll, euch hier zu haben. Heute stehen wir, es ist kaum zu glauben, in einem Fahrstuhl. Von der Inneneinrichtung her würde ich sagen, der Fahrstuhl hat ein beruhigendes, sagen wir mal, Aussehen. Die Wandfarbe ist gut getroffen und man bekommt bei dem Fahrstuhl ein wohliges Gefühl. Trotzdem muss ich dem Fahrstuhl leider ein paar Punkte abziehen, wegen leichter Unordnung in den Ecken des Raumes. Ein Ordner und wo sogar die Papiere rausgefallen sind. Das zeigt ein wenig, dass dieser Fahrstuhl nicht so gut gepflegt wird. Leichter kann man auch ein paar Flecken auf dem Boden erkennen. Der Boden ist ebenfalls ein leichtes Problem. Er sieht zwar gut aus, wirkt aber ziemlich hart. Und wie man erkennen kann, sind da ein paar Gitterdrähte. Dies sorgt zwar zur Stabilität bei, kann aber auch zu Unwohlsein fühlen und zu keinem guten Gefühl, wenn man hier einfach in dem Fahrstuhl steht. Die Lampen sind gut getroffen, haben ein gutes, wohliges Gefühl. Trotzdem würde ich sagen, dass das Kalte zwar etwas zur Räumlichkeit beifügt, aber leider etwas nach einer Zeit im Auge wehtun. Ja, es ist wirklich, langsam.
Stark.
Es passiert wirklich nichts, oder? Okay, cool. Ich habe gerade einfach 3 Minuten. Aha. Renderdistanz. Ich habe gerade einfach so in einem Fahrstuhl gestanden für ein paar Minuten. Okay, cool.
Stepping in.
Ich habe das Spiel kaputt gemacht. Habe ich das Spiel gerade kaputt gemacht? Ich habe das Spiel kaputt gemacht. Der Blumenklause leuchtet. Ne. Okay. Ich weiß nicht genau, was ich gerade getan habe. Ich laufe einfach mal zurück. Die Tür war vorher noch nicht offen. You are now leaving. Was? Boah, Digga, diese komplette Stille ist sehr beunruhigend. Die gibt mir ein ganz ekelhaftes Gefühl. Ja. Ist das so eine unendliche Treppe jetzt? Es wird auch immer dunkler. Es ist nicht schön. Escape Pod. Ich sehe halt nichts. Okay. Sehr merkwürdig. Ich hinterfrag das.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Nicht.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ey, oh mein Gott, das war sehr beunruhigend. Ich weiß immer noch nicht, was genau gerade passiert ist. Ich lasse das jetzt mal einfach so stehen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Yeah.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Ist halt einfach ein sehr schöner Raum. Also, ich sehe diesen Raum und denke mir, geile, Kelp einfach.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Ach, die haben einfach nur keinen Geschmack. So, guck mal, ich sehe,
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Hauptsache PS5, aber dann so niedrige Texturen bei dem Sessel. Was steht da drauf? What is it about this place? 2 weeks of more sweat? They might as well not. It is right of its. Ich kann es nicht genau lesen. Fuel. Coffee nut.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Wir könnten jetzt links lang gehen. Wir könnten aber auch rechts lang gehen. Wir entschieden uns, links lang zu gehen.
Through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Das ist viel lustiger.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Ich gehe wieder nach oben. Oh, ich kann nicht nach oben.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay, wir warten ein bisschen.
Down, right, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely
Ja.
this way. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is...
Interessant.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the
Nein,
beginning.
bitte
And
nicht.
this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
War das da oben diese Windows-Klammer da?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wir sind stromsparend. Stanley ist stromsparend.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Los geht's. Okay. Gehen wir nach rechts, weil das lustig ist. Von der Raumaufteilung her, einfach Backrooms. Yo, ich bin in den Backrooms. Yo, Mr. White. With the Backrooms, yo. Jo, es sind einfach die Backrooms. Ich bin im Kreis gelaufen.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wir machen immer den PC aus. Wir sind stromsparend.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay, zurück. Mal gucken, was dann passiert. Ah, okay.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, wo zum Fick sind
Now
wir?
well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
Nein, ich hab gewonnen. Ey, Mann. Gönn doch.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Stehe, ich folge mal der Linie.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ja. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Whoa. Sehr schöne
Got the
Pflanze.
music? Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ja. Los geht's. Weiter. Die Musik weiter.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story is... Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ah, das wurde doch gerade so lustig.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ins Büro von 437, wo ich vorhin 20 Mal
yes,
raufgeklickt habe.
this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Aber wir gehen die ganze Zeit im Kreis. Das sollte, glaube ich, nicht der Fall sein.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Ja, das Problem ist zwar cool, das mit dem mach alles, was du willst, aber es ist linear.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Aber die Adventure Line ist... Ja. Vergiss die Adventure Line.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay. So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Okay, spielen wir die Story.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Jetzt
memo.
scheißen wir mal auf den Strom. Nicht, dass ihr denkt, ich hab's vergessen. Ich hab nur keinen Bock. Okay, das kommt mir irgendwie anders vor. Ja, das ist definitiv nicht so wie vorhin.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Irgendwie doch, ja schon. Das wirkt irgendwie anders auf mich. Ich weiß nicht, diese Räume da hinten, die waren vorher noch nicht so.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Ja, ich weiß nicht, was die Kombination ist. Das ist eben das Problem. So, das Warten von
2845.
Ich weiß echt nicht, was wir tun könnten. Blöd. Warten wir eben.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Wer hätte damit gerechnet?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja, gehen wir durch.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Also, soweit habe ich nicht das Gefühl, dass wir irgendwie aufgehalten werden, irgendwas zu tun. Also.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Da sind wir. 427. Unser Raum. Grauenvoll.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Es wäre eine Schande.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But he here was the proof.
Oh mein
The
Gott.
heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its
Wahnsinniganlage,
terrible
cool.
power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ich würde gerne raus. Moment. 1, 2. Drei. Ist das da oben die 4? Okay.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Control?
Ja.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh nein.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Hier.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say,
fucking hell.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense.
Wir gehen
And
einfach
as
mal.
Stanley pondered this,
Es
he
wiederholt
began
sich
to make
eigentlich noch.
other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Ach du
Why did
Scheiße.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oha.
Then he imagined
Creative mode
himself
activated.
soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not
Fuck,
woken up.
mein Mikrofon ist
How
umgekippt.
was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Okay,
Did the
das
voice not
wird
seem
jetzt langsam
to
echt
make the
merkwürdig.
magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Ja.
I am okay.
Having I know I'll be okay. Oh, fucking hell.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What the fuck? What the fuck
This is
just
the
happened?
story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Ich wollte sowieso kacken gehen.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Junge. Puh.
When Stanley
Widersetzen wir uns
set
mal
of
einfach
two open doors,
komplett
this was
dem
not the
Spiel.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yay!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Dieser Sarkasmus in der Stimme.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nee.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's what? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Ja.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Nee.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nee.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yeah.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
Yeah.
Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Das ist orange, das sieht cool aus.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ja.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ja. Wow. Leaderboard.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
War okay.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay, los geht's.
this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Ich will gucken, was passiert, wenn wir das Baby dann sehen. Absolut grauenvoll.
Alle großartigen Meetings beginnen mit wann? Die Entscheidung für den perfekten Zeitpunkt?
Das ist absolut grauenvoll. Guck mal, dieses Ende geht jetzt gerade auf YouTube an. Fuck it, baby!
Burn! You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay, welches Spiel? Welches Spiel spielen wir?
Aha, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
Ist das
What is our
Watchfire?
motivation?
Oder wie heißt das?
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower. Perhaps
The
for some sort
watchtower,
of twisted,
fire-
erotic
Firewatch.
purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Das war ein Minecraft-Sound. Ich frag gar nicht erst. Huh. Warte, bis er erfährt, dass es ein Open-World-Spiel ist. Das ist ja erstmal. Oh. Hä? Aber können wir jetzt.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Nein!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big open
just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another
Nein.
game. Preferably something with walls. Something with
Wir können das ruhig weiterspielen.
insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh Gott, was gibt er uns jetzt?
Wonderful.
Rocket League.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, yeah. I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
More balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, yeah. I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Nein!
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Please rate understand alpha test beta space alternate iterations iteration for B. Okay. Vier, 2, 7 sind wir. Oh mein Gott, das ist FNAF. Hey.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh, what the? Okay. Das ist anders.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja, ich darf nicht.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the
gerade
first but
ausgesehen.
eager to get
War gar
back to
nicht.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ich will auf den Stuhl. Bei dem nicht.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in
Ich dachte,
control of
vielleicht,
the
wenn ich
story and
irgendwo
no
auf eine
one gets to
bestimmte
tell
Sache
him what
lande
to
oder
do,
so.
Stanley leapt from
Ist der
the
tot
platform
vielleicht?
and plunged to his death. Good
Unaus-
job,
bei-
Stanley.
nee, nicht unausweichlich.
Everyone
Ja,
thinks
keine
you are
Ahnung.
very powerful.
Ja.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Ja. Ich würde aber sagen... Warte mal. Genau, man kann mal die Scheiße hier jetzt mal beenden. Hat Spaß gemacht. Ich denke nicht, dass ich es nochmal streamen werde, weil irgendwie habe ich das Gefühl, ich krieg's nicht hin, dieses Spiel richtig zu moderieren. Ja. Deswegen hatte ich daraus auch kein Video gemacht, sondern gleich einen Livestream. Weil bei Video müsste ich schneiden. Und darauf habe ich keine Lust, wenn ich damit nichts anfangen kann. Ja. Ciao.